Dana, I'm Noah. You had a career year last season, doubling career highs in points, assists, and steals. Does that allow you more confidence coming into a new season than you might have had in years past?
It does, yes. I feel more comfortable in my position. I feel like I'm more confident and just ready to take on this role for this team this year.
Hey Dana, I know it's Jumpman for life, you're rocking with Jordan, but Candace Parker was just announced the president of
Yes.
Adidas Women's Basketball. What does that mean for you, not only from a former teammate of hers and a friend, but as a woman in sports, to be able to have a mind like hers in the building?
I mean, she just sets the bar so high, like seeing everything that she's done on the court and now just seeing what she's doing off the court is big for us. I know it just won't stop for her. She's just going to continue to be great in everything she does, and I'm so excited and happy for her with this life after basketball for her. She's going to be great in everything she does.
Dana, what's it been like through training camp, 2 preseason games being coached by Teresa Weatherspoon and, starting last night? What has all of that kind of been like for you and just being able to grow, continue your growth and learn from her?
It's been great. I've been talking a lot about her energy and how she just breathes confidence in each and every one of her players and how she really just pays attention to details. It's exciting and it just makes us want to really play hard for her and win games for her because she's such a great coach and a great person as well. Like, she's genuine and that makes you just go hard.
Shaquille.
Hey Dana, first question is for you. As the person who on the team who is the closest to being from Chicago as anyone, what does your role become in guiding all of the people who are new to the area, and what's that been like?
Well, I feel like it's hard right now just because the season kind of just kicking off and we're trying to make sure that we're really focused on while we're here. So I haven't really been able to do much outside of basketball with them yet. But we got a lot of new faces, and like you said, I'm the closest one. So I'll be here if they need anything. But for now, we're just focusing on the basketball stuff.
Izzy, Shakia Taylor, Chicago Tribune, nice to meet you. This is your first season really being with the team this way. What has that transition been like for you? And what has it been like working with Spoon in that transition back in?
Yeah, I was here a little bit last year for maybe like 2.5 weeks, and I just kind of dipped out. But I got really familiar with just the city of Chicago last year, and obviously the girls. So that was good to have. And then coming back this year after having like a full year essentially of rehabbing and just getting ready to be back on the court, it's been good. Teaspoon has ever since she accepted the role, she's been encouraging me, just making sure I'm okay as a person. Oftentimes as basketball players, we can just get viewed as what we do and produce, but she's making sure I'm good on a human level. And to have a coach like that, it's like I'll run through a wall for her because you don't find that too often. And she was a player as well, so having her to just be alongside of me with this rehab and just transitioning back onto the court, it's been everything.
Hi, ladies. Sean Gurney, Northwestern Medill. Obviously, going from the Final Four to the draft, and then obviously the season starting now. How have you guys helped the rookies kind of adjust to the speed of the game? This different level of playing in the WNBA overall.
So for me, I just make sure I tell them don't get too high and don't get too low because this is the best league in the world. You're not gonna be at your best all the time. Sometimes you're not gonna be doing what you're used to doing. So just making sure that you know that this is a quick season and you don't have much time to dwell on a bad game or a bad loss. You got to be able to move on fast because you play the next 2 or 3 days. So just having that mindset and just kind of being there for them. Like whenever they need me, I'm always there. If they got questions or whatever that looks like for them. But I feel like our rookies, they pretty much they got it figured out. But we've been here to help as much as we can.
We'll go Chris, Steven, Robbie, then John.
Izzy, Chris Penn with CHGO. Following that Candace retirement, someone posted a tweet saying that you were the last person who had graduated with Pat Summit, and you had that response that was kind of touching for me, having watched those games when the nascence of the Tennessee-Connecticut rivalry. Could you talk about what that was like playing with that Tennessee team with Pat, and how you've seen the game evolve from your time in college coached him now on the court and off?
Yeah, I hate that I kind of found that out through Twitter, because when I read it, obviously I was still like, dang, Candace is leaving, and then it's like, now boom, I'm the last player coached by Pat Summitt, and just to have such a legendary coaching experience, that is something like you can never replace. And obviously I know she's so proud of us, and obviously the Lady Ball legacy, but yeah, it hurt a little bit. I definitely will say that. But I would say, and somebody asked me this the other day, with that now being the situation, you do see this new era of basketball coming in, but I think the one thing that hasn't changed is the grittiness that Pat has coached in the SEC, but women's basketball in general, caring about defense, wanting to get stops, like holding your head high in those aspects. So I think that's something that carries along in this new age. But even like a player like Candace was with Pat, and like you still see big guards that are post down, and I think that's something that obviously Pat helped cultivate to bring into the new game. So there's still touches of Pat in there, and I just want to make her proud and continue to build on her legacy.
Steven.
Hey, ladies, how y'all doing today?
Hey, good.
My first question will be for Dana. It's kind of be 2 in 1. So the first one being, what have you learned about your leadership and the time that you spent growing into your role from last season to this season, as well as overseas? And then also, what are you looking to improve upon most this upcoming season?
Okay. For the leadership one, I would say just also leading by example as well. Showing them that I'm always going to be working hard and I'm always going to be doing what I need to do. Leading by example is important, as well as communicating. I feel like I've been very vocal, and just knowing what the coaches want, so I can make sure that I want to be an extension of the coach on the court. So just knowing what she wants and making sure that everybody is comfortable out there and putting them in positions to be successful is something that I'm really focusing on this year too, and that kind of answers your second one. Point guard wise, I feel like I just want to make the right decisions. I think getting people in catch and shoot positions, getting diamond and grip drive situations in Kennedy Carter because they're so explosive and they can get to the basket, getting Marina in some stagger screens and getting her open looks is going to be important for me this year, I feel like, because I feel like I can get my shot off when I need to and when I have to. But focusing on the other things like that, and obviously defense is something that I'm going to be really focused on this year too. I feel like that pushes our team, and that it starts with me. So just seeing me picking up 94 feet and being into everybody, they got to feed off of it. They don't have a choice. Yeah, it started with me, and I'm excited to take on this role, and I'm going to be the best that I can be.
And then for Izzy, just kind of speaking to the front court group as a whole, what have been your assessments of like the abundance and the versatility that y'all have come out of?
I mean, I feel like we got everything we need. Like, we got the height, we got the skill, we got the energy, just the defense, and just to go into like a post group like that, it's just like, it's comforting, because it's like if something happens or whatever the case may be, you have somebody ready to step in right after that to be ready to, take the assignment. So overall, I feel comfortable with the group.
Bobby.
Hi guys. For the past 14 years, the average free throw percentage in the WNBA has actually been higher than the NBA. And I asked Marina Mabry about this, and she kind of jokingly said, well, maybe it's because we're practicing free throws at the end of practice and they're practicing dunks. What do you think it kind of says about the fundamentals that you guys work on, or why do you think that data exists?
I think it sometimes just get overlooked because we don't dunk the basketball. But at this level, you have to be really, really talented and really gifted. I think everybody at this level is super skilled, and I do think it helps that we shoot free throws after practice, and I feel like we just make sure we key in on that because it's important. Like, you can win and lose a game off free throws. So I think it's just important to do it after practice when you're tired. Don't just do it when you're fresh, because that's easy when you're in a game flow practicing them. So.
John.
Hey, Dana as well. I know you mentioned, they haven't mentioned the specifics yet, but the fact that yesterday they announced there's going to be charter flights, for the league, I can see your reaction right there. How surprised were you that they announced it then? And I mean, obviously it's necessary and it's been wanted, but why specifically do you think it's really going to help with the growth of the league?
It's going to help, for one, just timing wise. I feel like you lose a whole day when you fly commercial. Like we have an off day, but we're flying at 10 or 11 a.m. and we getting back around 1, 2, 3, and you're tired. So it's really not an off day. It doesn't count. I feel like we'll get a lot more rest using the charter flights. I think that was the biggest focal point on that is resting, because we play so many games in a short amount of times. We need those days off to really like focus on our body and what we need to do.
Next, anyone? Steven? Then we'll go to 5.
One more quick one for y'all. So obviously with so much movement around the team, I think it's getting a lot of attention, but I think maybe one of the biggest and most impactful is that you all are now being coached by a black woman in the league that's predominantly black. I was just curious, what have been your early observations of having Teaspoon there, and just how, I want to compare it to other situations, but how different has it been in uniqueness from the coaches you all had in the past?
I would say it's really refreshing to have a coach that she doesn't feel like she has to come in and fix us. Like she's a head coach, her first year as a head coach, and coming into a league that she's familiar with, but obviously it's different from when she played, and she doesn't feel like she needs to fix us. She just allows us to be our own players, and she just enhances that by her energy and obviously guidance and IQ, but she just allows us to be who we are. And for me, I've been in the league for a while now, and to have a coach like that that just lets you take a breath and like be who you are as a player, it's refreshing because it brings the best out of everybody. And I think you guys saw it last night. We were just ourselves. We were having fun. We didn't have to overthink it. We worked with one another, and that all comes from her just letting us play. And yeah, it's been very refreshing.
Kyle?
Dana, for you, just kind of you having success overseas, averaging 20 points. What did you kind of hope to take from that experience and bring here, and just kind of what did you work on? What allowed you kind of have that success overseas?
I think it just really started with confidence with me. I think when I'm not thinking and I'm just hooping, I'm at my best. And just remembering the work that I put in it's gonna pay off. And and like I said, just having a coach that really just believes in you and breathes confidence in you is, like she said, is so refreshing. And I just feel like I got a little bit more freedom this year. You have to earn it. Like, I'm not saying I should have had that or anything, because you have to earn it. You got to put your time in. And I feel like I have. So I'm ready for the challenge, and I'm excited for that.
For you, Dana, this is essentially an entirely new roster than when you arrived in Chicago originally. How do you adjust to that level of roster turnover?
I would just say, I mean, that's this business now. Like, people, they're gonna come and go, and you just gotta be ready and being ready to adjust to any situation. And I feel like we have a great group, a group that feels like they've been underestimated. I feel like a lot of us kind of playing with a chip on our shoulder because we feel like we have something to prove. So yeah, I think that's just gonna make us go so much harder. And Teaspoon also has a chip on her shoulder. This is her first year, and she wants to do good, and we want to help her do good. We want to make her look good. So yeah, I feel like just being adjustable and being able to adjust to what you have.
Chris?
Dana, Chris Penn, CHGO. Started your career in Dallas, then came to Chicago that same year, won a championship, and then the last 2 years over here, changing rosters and kind of changing outcomes of the season, plus playing in Hungary, and then the 2 years, especially this last one with Besiktas, where you were kind of given the keys to the team. Have you had a space to reflect on what your career has been like over these last 4 years and where you want it to go?
Yeah, I feel like I'm just always like living in the moment. Like, I try to just be present. I try to just be where my feet are, but I'm blessed, obviously. Like, I'm really blessed to be in this position, and I feel like my first year was a roller coaster. Like you said, I was drafted to Dallas, and then I got traded, and then I came here, and then we won the championship. Like, that was perfect. But yeah, I would just say, just for me, I like to just be present and not kind of think about the past or the future. I like to just be where my feet are.
Yeah, you've obviously been at different places. You've seen this league evolve. How do you think the experience game-wise will change with some of the players coming into the league, like Angel, like Caitlin, who have these big celebrity-type followings?
Say that again. Sorry.
Just how will the game experience change with some of those players coming into the league? Just in terms of
Game experience. I mean, to be honest, I feel like games have always been exciting, but now these girls are bringing in a huger, like, crazy platform. So it's just more eyes on the talent that's already been there, and I'm glad that they're able to add their talent and experiences to the league now. And obviously, it's helped. Like, you know, having Angel here, they love her, and I think even just speaking as a teammate, I love that I get to see her as a person, and you know, not just what people think she is. She's great. So to have that on top of like her willingness is to help everybody and learn and listen and just to grow, I think it's been amazing to see.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.